Alright everybody, it's Mike from Growtopia and we are getting ready for the corn. So let's go a little step by step. I'm going to try to make these videos very short and multiple. So stay tuned, like, subscribe, share it with your friends and family, and let's get to it. The first thing you're going to need is some way of tilling your ground down. Now either you're using a rake or a rototiller. A cultivator. It says AC cultivator. Tiller, cultivator, same shit. Tills the ground down, that's what you need. The next thing you got to do is figure out where you're going to be planting it and how you're going to be planting it. Now that doesn't mean just the ground down below, but the ground itself, right? So we have this section here that we're going to clean up, cut, and then we're going to till it. Now that we know where we're going to be sticking it, what are we actually going to be growing? So this year, like I did last year, but I didn't do it the right way, we are going to be running peaches and cream sweet corn. And we're going to be mixing up a little bit in there is these ones called glass gem corn from this packet. Never used them before, but hell, why not? We're gonna mix them up. They're multicolored edible corn, so I think that's pretty cool. We can get some corn kernels. Other stuff that we're gonna be running, we also have some of JP's secret stuff, and we're also gonna be using a water soluble, not the right way, but corn feed. Now, the other thing that you're gonna need as well, I advise extremely, which I'm gonna be doing, is gloves. Because when it comes down to mixing the fertilizers and stuff, you don't really want it on your skin. If you got cuts and stuff, it's going to get inside your body, and there's probably a lot of that stuff in there you really don't want inside your body. But why are we using it? Well, we're using it because it's safe for the plants and it helps them grow better, but a lot of times a lot of that stuff just gets on you and it spreads, and you just don't really want it on you altogether. So that's what we're going to be using as well. You're going to need some patience, you're going to need some time. But we're going to actually start to clear in this area, and then once that's cleared, then we'll shoot another video. You can see me mixing it all together with some soil, tilling it down, making my line, dropping my corn, covering it over with soil. And when you do that, make sure you water your corn every single day until germination. And a fun fact, did you know that every kernel of corn is those one little silk? So at the top of it is a tassel, right? The tassel has these little white things on top of it. If you've ever been to a cornfield, you see these little weird white things on top. Well, that's the male part of the plant. So the male part of the plant has the pollen. The pollen has to fall down onto those little tiny silks. Each silk is one kernel of corn. That has to land on the silk, fertilize, and go all the way down to make one kernel. So that's why corn is cut into blocks. Or not cut, but that's why it's in a cornfield, it's not just one row of plants like I did. I got some germination last year, but I didn't really have a great. So let's amplify it and try to do 3, 4, even 5 blocks if we can do this year. My route of measurement that I'm going to be doing is running my finger across the soil in a line as straight as I can and dropping the corn kernels at a good depth apart. For the gems, it says 4 inches apart. And for the sweet corn, it is saying it takes about 7 to 14 days to germinate. Will grow to a tower 6 feet tall, spread about 18 inches wide. Corn can be placed 12 to 15 inches apart from one another in rows that are spaced about 30 to 36 inches apart. So they're spaced pretty far apart. So that's why with these ones, it might be a little tough to kind of cram them all in together. We're going to see what we can do this year and make it work. And if it doesn't work that great, next year we'll spread them a little thicker. So anyway, let's go. So first thing we got to do is make the ground ready to bring the tiller in, which involves spreading some mixtures. Now this is a perfect opportunity to get wood chips in your shoes, and also to fix your sprinkler line system that happens to be in the way of the tiller. So I'm going to go grab my cutters, I'm going to fix some line quick, and then we'll get down to tilling. So unfortunately we have some extra sprinkler lineage that we really don't need in the way. So let's get rid of the line so we don't accidentally hit it. Plus it makes it shorter, the water gets there quicker. Alright, perfect. Nice, simple, and easy. Get rid of this. Let's get to tilling. So of course, now that I've mapped out a nice section for myself, this is basically the size of it. I still need a walking path to go this way. So I'm not needing a lot of space, but I kind of still need some space. Now, of course, we got dandelions in there. That's fine. They're going to get shoved in and tilled. But we're going to till this whole area. Then we're going to lay down some soil. I'm going to lay down some fertilizer, make a line, lay down some seeds. So let's till it. There's a lot of green area in there. Good for the compost. Now it looks like by the best of things, we're not really actually going to need any soil, because the soil here is very nice. After redoing this bed over and over and again, it's not going to need anything. What it's going to need is some fertilizer mixed in. We're going to spread the fertilizer on it. We're going to run the tiller back and forth. And then we're going to start dropping some seed. Like, subscribe, share it with your friends and family for the next video. I need a drink. And we're going to start laying some seed. Well, lay some fertilizer. And then lay some seed.